Hey guys, welcome to GCT, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Promote me, but won't bump my hourly wage? Sure thing. I'll just use your rules to give myself a 50% pay bump. Posted by Interested Observer 20. This happened in a company that I worked at over a decade ago. I was a technician working on large machines. We had numerous clients and were assigned to a given site. The site I worked at was across a border, so I couldn't live near it and had to commute an hour each way every day. I got no expenses or mileage for this because it was my assigned site. After working for this company for a while, I got promoted to stop doing routine maintenance and work on more complex projects. Most of these projects were on a site near where I lived, so that suited me just fine. However, the company told me that they didn't have any budget to increase my wage, which is where the malicious compliance comes in. I combed through their rules and regulations as well as my contract and found that if you had to travel to a site that was not your assigned one, you got paid as if you'd driven from your assigned site to whatever other one you were working on. My assigned site was classified as being an hour and a half from the site I was doing most of my work on, so I was allowed to claim those 1.5 hours as hours worked on my timesheet. So, every day, I'd put down 1.5 hours commute there and 1.5 hours commute home, plus 8 hours regular work. Anything over 8 hours worked in a day was paid at overtime rates, so for those 3 hours commute, I was getting paid 4.5 hours. Because my contract said my assigned site was Site A, and I mostly worked at Site B, there was nothing they could do about it. And my country has pretty decent employee protections, so I'd have to agree to change my contract, which obviously I wasn't going to do. They told me numerous times they were going to change my assigned site, but until the day I quit, they were never able to. The actual length of my commute most days was 10 to 15 minutes each way. Too long didn't read. I used the company's rules to get paid an extra 4.5 hours each day for driving about 25 minutes. My boss basically told me to suck it up, get demoted, or quit. But if you do quit, give us 6 months notice so we can replace you. Posted by Throwaway 2007. In the industry I work in, I was tossed into a position where I was going to be wearing a lot of hats. My boss has been relentless ever since he put me into a new role, just 2 months after I was hired for a different one. It took him 8 months to provide me with a job description for this new role. This role was intended for him originally, but he said he needed someone else to take it on because he was already slammed. There was no structure at all, and he had no plans for it. He would leave out information, not include me in key meetings with executives or donors, and if he made a mistake, he would always say that I did that. If he had a plan that failed, it was my fault, and he made sure to make everyone believe that I was dramatic. Fast forward a year later, and I'm very overwhelmed. I'm given impossible deadlines and workloads that have started to affect my mental health. My boss will ask me to do stuff outside of work hours, or to work overtime to prove that I'm giving it my all. I decline these things because to me, I work 40 hours and that's it. After many people urged me to talk to my boss about the burnout I'm feeling, and him sending messages to my team, asking us to approach him if we feel burnt out, I did it. His response was to put down my entire team and say that we're unmotivated and that I need to decide whether I can work harder, because if not, I should find a new career or calling in life. He tried to paint it as him guiding me to help. He told me that I'm working above my pay grade, that I should either accept a demotion, suck it up and try harder, or give him 6 months notice that I'm quitting. He brought up how I might have something psychologically or mentally wrong with me, and that I need to figure out what I want in life. Little does he know, the former college I used to lecture at has invited me to apply to a new position on campus that pays more than double my current job, and it comes with way more benefits. I would also be working alongside people I loved working with before. I'd be part of a union. I'm praying and hoping that I get this new position and I can give him a 1-day notice about my departure. Oh yeah, you should totally give him 6 months notice. What a joke. I've never heard of anywhere asking for 6 months notice to quit. Would they give you 6 months notice? And he said you're working above your pay grade. Doesn't that mean that you're being paid less than you should be for the level of work you're doing? Why do bosses always think that more responsibility is a perk, without the pay that goes along with it? Also, him asking for 6 months' notice is proof of how badly he needs you. You're the one in the position of power here, even if you don't get the new position. If the demotion doesn't involve him cutting your pay, take the demotion. Or better yet, find a different job and leave, with that 1-day notice period. Update. My boss is having me write an essay with details of my minute-by-minute workday to prove I'm working hard. He recently started to question my workload and the workload of my co-workers because we're all stressed and burnt out. He tried framing this assignment as him trying to help us better time manage things, but we've gone to him with requests and feedback before and keep getting told, "You just have to work harder, that's what I do." I had to block off my entire calendar to do this task today, but I'm going to write the most obnoxious and highly detailed essay just to piss him off. In grad school, I was notorious for overwriting and taking my time to get to the point. Who knew that fun little skill would come in handy today? To answer the 2 popular questions, 1, no, I can't quit on the spot because I can't afford it. And 2, yes, I am looking for other jobs and actively applying. Edit. Thank you everyone for the suggestions. I wrote the essay using parts of ChatGTP and it came out to 8 pages long, single-spaced. I would share snippets of it, but it does have some identifying details about my clients and my workplace. If my boss has a reaction to this, I'll share it on the subreddit. Update 2. Many people have asked me if I could give an update on the situation at work. The essay, which turned out to be 8 pages long, did not help me out at all. If anything, it ignited a fire of retaliation on his end, which was my full intention. My boss, being the narcissist that he is, came to the conclusion that although I provided all of the deliverables and met all the expectations we set out, I'm just not living up to his standards, and he would like to conduct a performance review with me. He will also be having me do a performance improvement plan. I questioned him heavily in our last meeting about the necessity of a performance review if I'm already performing to the expectations set out. He tried to claim that there was something serious that needs to be addressed and that he needs HR and the executive director involved. He tried to say that he was going to be giving me constructive criticism, but his constructive criticism consists of creating elaborate lies about my work ethic. He tries to cover up his mistakes, terrible memory, and lack of organisation by blaming his staff. In my last performance review, he told HR and the ED that I never finish my work and that I make mistakes. That was the first time I've ever heard about that. Our project management system captures everything, and it shows that I'm on track. No late tasks, and I complete all the work given to me. I'll be quitting before he tries to conduct this performance review. I've been interviewing at other places with better pay and benefits. My entire organisation is falling apart. 4 people have quit within a month. There's less than 40 employees, and I'm jumping ship at the perfect moment. Edit. Thank you all for your support and suggestions. To answer the most popular question, 1. I'm going to be quitting on the spot within the next 2 weeks. I'm not sticking around to be gaslit any longer. 2. HR, the executive director, and the CEO at my non-profit organisation do not care about their employees. They have a high turnover rate for a reason, and they retaliate against any staff that brings up concerns. They won't fire you, but they'll make your life a living hell until you quit. Update 3. To make it very clear, I'm leaving this job soon, interviewing with a couple different universities right now, and I work at a non-profit that is very disorganised. There's no way I'm sticking around to get fired to prove a point. There's no severance pay in this organisation. I tried to take some of your comments and my family's advice by going to HR to bring the issues that have been occurring with my boss in terms of him lying about my work ethic, micromanaging me, and alluding to firing me. HR did not care at all and tried to tell me that she cannot document my complaint even though I have a paper trail because it's always a he said, she said, and then there's the actual truth. Also, fun fact, she kept calling me by the wrong name and she said, I don't even know what you do here. During my next meeting with my boss, I was brutally honest with him about his poor management style. obviously in a professional way. He tried to not make it obvious that HR had come to him and told him everything, because he said, concerned co-workers have come forward to tell me some things you've been saying. But none of my co-workers know the extent of the issues, and only HR knew the specific details that he ended up bringing up. He gaslighted me the entire time, saying, I never said this, and you misinterpreted me, and by the way, I document every single thing we talk about, so you must be confused. I shut him down with only facts and just stared at him while he tried to rewrite the reality of everything. He ended the conversation by admitting that we're having the performance review and putting together a PIP, not because of my actual performance, but because I misinterpret everything. I'm assuming he means the long, minute-by-minute essay, and I can promise you all, I did not misinterpret anything. I've messenger screenshots with him, voice recordings I've taken of him, and our project management systems. I don't care anymore. My ED does not care, nor does my CEO. Our board of directors is basically non-existent, so there's no one else I can go to for help. All of the jobs I've been interviewing for are 15 to 20k more in pay than I receive now, and the benefits are amazing. I won't fight to stay at a place that only gives 3 days sick pay, 6 days of PTO, and 4 days paid holiday. I've learned from this experience that you should never back down from your truth, even if it means writing an 8-page, overly detailed essay about your work tasks to prove a point. Thank you all for your support. Update 4. They really couldn't fire me because I'm the only one running my program. Also, they can't afford unemployment. Well, I received a job offer yesterday, and I'll be making 20k more a year than I'm currently making at my organisation. My plan is to give 1 day's notice after having my boss and the executive team telling me to basically quit and give them months of notice. Yeah, I'm good. The icing on the cake is that 2 others in my team are putting in their 2 weeks notice at the end of the week, so my organisation is about to feel the wrath of the underpaid and overworked. Sometimes being professional doesn't matter to me when I know that they weren't being professional at all in the first place. Update 5. I took a lot of your advice into consideration and did not even give a notice. I just sent an immediate resignation. I waited till my paperwork with HR was confirmed to be done at my new job before walking out. I said goodbye to a handful of other co-workers and just went to go hang out with my family. I've been taking a little vacation before I officially start on Monday. My former employer took a whole day to acknowledge my resignation and just said they were sad to see me go. But I know I caught them off guard. They're trying to keep it a secret at work, but people have noticed that my Slack account was disabled, so I'm getting messages and phone calls from coworkers. They're all proud of me and wish they could do the same. This caught everyone off guard. I was sitting in meetings that morning talking about the future because I wanted to make it less suspicious that I was leaving. I don't regret anything and I feel so alive. As Karl Marx once said, you have nothing to lose but your chains. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.